So I was getting back from a trip to Knoxville and I was heading back to Philly on a motorcycle with my girlfriend on the back. And we were on I-95, and the sleeping bag we had slipped into the rear wheel, and it locked up, and it got mangled around the chain. And at this point, there was no shoulder because there was maintenance there. And after using my Leatherman for about 5 minutes, got the bike off the road, and we were, on to safety. And the bike was fine, and we were both fine. But the chain was mangled, and this was Memorial Day weekend, and all the motorcycle shops were closed. And I thought to myself, okay, what are we going to do? And it's interesting how after a life and death experience, you think, oh shit, I got to get to work on Tuesday. And it just would have been so much easier if you died, but now you have all these responsibilities that you have to come back to, and fuck. So we're still living, and we have to carry on with our lives and get back to work because the bills got to be paid. And I think I need to get on Twitter. And Beth is like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I say, "Just trust me. I got this feeling. I got a bunch of followers. All I have to do is send out a tweet, and they're gonna figure it out. It's gonna propagate. There's gonna be some retweets, and you just don't know the power of social media, and I just have a good feeling about this." So we find a hotel because we're not going anywhere that night, and I send out a tweet, and I'm like, "Biker down! I got a Ninja 650R, and I need a 520 EK chain," and I send it out, and I just wait, and I go out and have a cigarette, and she's like, "This isn't gonna work," and I'm like, just give it a second. I got a lot of followers. Let's just see where this goes. And someone retweets it. And I say, "Hey, look, honey, someone retweeted that." And you're like, "Yeah, Assman57 retweeted it. That's great. We're stuck in the middle of Christiansburg, Virginia, but Assman57 has got our back with a retweet." But eventually it gets retweeted again and again, and someone responds and said, "Hey, I know Christiansburg. I grew up there." I'm like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "Did you go to the motorsports shop down the road?" I'm like, "Yeah, but it's closed." He's like, "Well, I know Mike there." I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, give me your number and I'll give you a call." I'm like, "Sweet, that would be great." And the next day, within the next hour, I get a call from Mike, and he says, "Hey, I got a thing going on, but I can meet you at like 10 o'clock tonight, and I'll get you that new chain." And I say, "Great, this is awesome. All I had to do was tweet." And it's about 10 o'clock, and he calls me, and I jog down the road because we've been celebrating with beers and the fact that we're going to get out, and I got this chain. And I go to the motorsports store, which is just in the middle of nowhere. There's an SUV there, and there's this woman in this extravagant dress with smoking a cigarette, and the back windows are open, and there's two kids sleeping there. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And she's like, "He's in there." And it turns out they just came back from a wedding, and the kids are just fast asleep, and he's got his tux on still. He's like, "Here's your chain. You get a rivet here or there, but you can put a snap on there if you want." But in any case, it's 152 links. How many do you need? I'm like, "Well, my bike needs 140 links." And I'm like, 140? Just like the amount of characters in a Twitter. This was meant to be. So I'm like, he says, "I'll cut this down for you if you like." I'm like, "No, it's no problem. I have a hack." So he's like, "No, come on." So he brings me in the back of the shop, and he's sitting there over a metal grinder with his tux on, and there's sparks flying in between his pants, and he's cutting this down to 140 links for me. And throughout the randomness of Twitter, we were able to get chain that we needed, and we made